Greetings, I'm Larry Walling, and this is Hearts for Africa. We're all about you, the listeners, getting personally involved with the movers and shakers over on the continent of Africa, India, and in portions of the Middle East. And we do this in several ways by giving out our guests' contact information in the form of emails, websites, blogs, and phone numbers when available. Today, I have three very special young men with me. They're students, high school students, and they started an organization called TeachTheFuture Foundation. I'm going to introduce you to them right now. On my left is Karthik, correct?
Hello. Yeah, thank you for having us here, Larry.
You're welcome. What's your last name? And I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I know better.
Yeah, my name is Karthik Ravikumar.
Okay, and on my right is Emil, and Emil, your last name?
Arampan.
And my second to the right, or at the end, is Karshik.
It's Kaushik Ravikumar.
Okay, watch it there. Okay, Kaushik. All right, so these guys are high school students, and they started this organization in 2013, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. They're to be commended for this. I think it's, so often we as adults don't do nearly as much as what our children do or kids in high school or college, and I think it's just to be commended for what these guys are doing. So who would like to speak for the group to start off with? Karthik?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
We started off as this foundation. It was just a plan, and we were just thinking like how we could help. And then we realized that we were getting more into it, I guess. And we thought, didn't really know how to get the foundation really started. But then it started, I guess, we went to Limerick High School, that's where we go. And we just wanted to hold a small fundraiser there. And then they denied us, but the cool thing about it was the way they denied it helped us because they told us about all the legal documents like 501c3, how to apply for a nonprofit. Then we did more research, and then we officially became a nonprofit organization. I think it was like February 12th or February 10th. Around it, yeah.
Now, you started this in 2013. When do you think, was that when you came up with the idea as well, or is that just when you...
Yeah, about last summer, I think we were just coming up with ideas of to do this. It wasn't really a big thing into us, but then over time, it kind of got to us, I guess.
Okay, and Emil, you're the one that I've been speaking to here recently. What made you want to do something like this?
Yeah, so when we were in 4th grade, there was a person that came to us that gave a presentation at our elementary school, Dilworth Elementary School, and they talked about the value of education and things like that. And so, like Karthik had said, when we were just looking at things that we could do and just how to help, one of the ways we just thought back to this, and at that time we didn't take education seriously. We threw our homework out the window and whatnot.
I used to do that.
Yeah. But then as time went on, we realized how important education was to us. And so then we figured if we were going to help people, that we should do something that can make a huge impact in people's lives. And that's where we figured out education was the best option. Okay,
and that was 4th grade?
Yeah, 4th grade was when we had the presentation.
Okay, wow. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
When you start that young. Kaushik, wow, I got to watch that. I'm sorry, I just got to watch what I say here. We're on there. So have you been involved with this group all at the same time? You guys all started this at the same time?
So yeah, we were actually all friends even back in elementary school. This whole project was all by all three of us. So, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to throw this out to the group, and whoever wants to answer the question is fine. I understand that you're starting in Kenya.
Yes.
So you're starting in Kenya doing what specifically?
So our project is to build a school near Kenya, a bit off of Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
The reason we're building a school is because we realize that education is the one problem that is in many of these third world countries.
Sure.
If we solve education, then we can really make sure everyone's educated. They can solve their own problems by themselves because there'll be more jobs, less disease, more doctors to stop disease, things like that.
Yeah, if you're literate, you can take care of yourself pretty much because you know what you have to do. I mean, often they can't do anything about it, but at least they have an idea of how to. you know, whether it be poverty or anything like that. But it starts with education, correct? What is your vision for the future? It starts in Kenya. Where do you see it going from there?
So from Kenya, we hope to just make an impact by ourselves in these like communities all around the world. So it's not going to be any specific area because our general goal is to promote education to places that don't have it, impoverished areas all around the world. And so we figure from Kenya we go to India, United States, and other places. But we figure by that time we won't be in high school anymore, and then we'll pass it down to the next generation. So in that way, every person can make their own impact in their own specific communities.
I have a question for you. Anybody can answer this. I've had the comment that's been made to me, why do you help people in other parts of the world when we have so much need here in the United States? Have you guys ever been asked that, starting out as
all the time.
Young people? Do you? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's actually one thing, we actually pulled up a stat, and we do get asked this a lot of times, but one stat we actually found it's pretty interesting. Even though there's a lot of education that's offered to here, our scores don't reflect to like show that people actually care as much as other places.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, totally. I mean, I've noticed that, you know, doing charity work abroad in a lot of them third world countries, they really appreciate education. To them, it's like dessert. You know, to us, it's just like a chore. Well, maybe not you guys, but in general, here in the West, not just the U.S., but, you know, just in the West, we don't take it seriously.
Right.
And so I think that's pretty odd. What you guys are doing is just awesome. How about going over to the places that you're going to be working at? Have you given that much thought?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, if we haven't told you already, we're consulting with another nonprofit called Build African Schools. And we've met up with their co-founder / president a lot, and then he's helping us through this whole project. His name is Patrick O'Sullivan. And basically,
that's a good Irish lad. Yeah. Good Irish lad.
So he's going to help us throughout the whole project. He has a construction crew in Kenya, Africa.
That's
and
very
he's
cool.
promised us, like, as long as we raise the money, he's going to take us to Africa and help us with the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's something I can help you guys with, too. I know a lot of people all over the continent of Africa, not North Africa, but South, East, and West. And I can hook you up with a lot of people that would be interested in having you go over there. I mean, I'm sure that they'd, you know, put you up so you wouldn't have to worry about lodging. Probably pretty much not food either, unless you guys have huge appetites. And airfare you would probably have to take care of, though.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah. Who is helping you with this here in the United States?
Yeah, so Patrick O'Sullivan, he lives in the Bay Area, but he goes to Africa.
Okay.
And he's done this for 15 plus years. He's built over 20 schools. And so it was really nice that he came. Well, we contacted him because we were contacting many foundations in the very beginning when we weren't even Teach the Future Foundation. We were just us three high school kids. And when we contacted him, not only did he say he would help us in terms of a donation of money, but he also inquired us about what we were doing. And we felt that a person like this, like a really good person that not only gives you money, but then is also interested in what you do, that's a really powerful thing. We talked to him further, and then it just went on from there.
I'd be interested in talking with him if you guys want to link him up with me.
Yeah.
Because it's people like that, you know, that I like to work with. Anybody that's interested in making a difference in the world. And so you guys know, like I said in my comment earlier, and I got sidetracked, but I get quite a few comments on, you know, people saying, well, why don't you help us out here in the United States? I actually do. So I'll ask you, it's not really a personal question, but have you found that by doing something overseas, it actually brings more awareness to what you're doing here in the United States as far as poverty goes? Has it heightened your awareness to what's going on around you here?
Yeah, so when people ask us that, one of the fundraisers that we're doing over the summer, just a small one, is door-to-door. We just knock on the people's door, and then we just give a spiel about what we're doing, and then they hopefully give us a donation. Some of the people that are hesitant to do it, they talk about the problems in America as well, and they're talking about places near Campbell and things like that, where they're also poor. And then we take that into consideration for other projects that we could possibly do.
Our foundation as a whole, what we actually want to do is not a focus of a particular place of what we want to help, but instead just the overall goal of education, because we know education can help you get a home, get a job, feed your family, so much more. So it's not more about the place rather than just the goal of education.
Okay. Now, we've got a diverse group here. We've got Emil, who's a Christian, like myself, and then Kaushik and Karthik.
Yeah.
You're both Hindu?
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about this before the show, and I think we're all on the same page. You know, we have our personal beliefs, but we do love each other, and we try to help out humanity. And that's really what it's all about here on Hearts for Africa. It's not about dividing peoples or theologies or, you know, anything like that, ideologies, nothing like that. What we want to do, what we practice here, and trust me, we really do, is bringing people together with a common thread, like everybody here in the studio today. And in fact, you all know that this is largely an Asian Indian audience that are listening. We love you guys, and we're all the same, basically. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So for what we're doing right here, you know, we work together, and I wish it were that way in the Middle East right now. We all know what's going on over there, and it's horrendous. But if you're to talk to the people in general, they feel the same way we do. So I think a lot of times the governments get in the way and stop us from really doing what needs to be done. So again, I want to commend these guys for doing what they're doing. Nothing's going to stop them from getting done what they know has to be done. And I hope that this motivates you to be proactive in your communities first, and then go beyond your communities and see what you can do in other places around the world. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back.
You're listening to Hearts for Africa, a show that inspires and raises awareness about the living conditions in Africa, the Middle East, and India. Listen to real interviews with people living in these stricken areas and receive current information on how you can get personally involved to really make a difference. Money donations are always appreciated, but there are many other ways you can help. So keep listening to find out how. For more information, go online at heartsforafricaradio.com. That's heartsforafricaradio.com to learn more and catch up on past shows. Now let's get back to Hearts for Africa with your host, Larry Walling.
I'm Larry Walling. If you're just tuning in, this is Hearts for Africa. I'm the show host today, and we're talking to three young men here with TeachTheFuture Foundation. I won't say their names. Well, yes, I will. Karthik, Emil, and Kaushik with a K. And we're talking about how they can change the world through education. All right, so we've covered a lot, and we talked about where you guys are starting, and which is in Kenya, and I believe, Kaushik, you said Nairobi around. Did you know that one of the largest slums in the world is in Nairobi?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of relates to what we were talking about just earlier. If you look at poverty in the United States, there's a lot, but when you look at it compared to Kenya, Africa, it's much less.
Yeah, you know, what I like to say is that you can experience poverty around the world in degrees. And so we here in the United States, we actually have a lot of poverty. But when you go overseas or to third world countries, it puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
Emil, it looks like you want to say something. You didn't want to say something?
So, yeah, going off. So, just going off of what Kaushik said, when people generally ask us, like, why not other places around the world, things like that, we try to tell them about the degree in which these places abroad, their degree of poverty and things like that, they have to go through in their part of the world. And we try to relate that to what the people now in the places that we go to are living in. But sometimes that connection isn't really made. And so we just wanted to clarify that on the radio and just say how much worse it is in Africa and other places around the world. It's hard to explain, but it's something that you need to see for yourself.
You're right. It's very hard to explain. You try to paint a word picture, I call it.
Yeah.
On air, that's what I say. A lot of times in my broadcasts, I say we try to paint a word picture as graphically as we can to try and get the listener to envision what we're talking about. It's a talent to try and do that. You guys are going to be pretty good at it, you know, when you're another few years into this, but it takes a lot of effort. Have you ever thought about going around to schools and different types of venues?
Yeah, actually we did, as I told you before, we were planning to do one in Limbrook High School.
Right.
That's our high school right now that we're going to, but actually we did hold a fundraiser at Dilworth Elementary School. That's the elementary school the three of us went to. And it was actually pretty successful. I'd say we raised about $1,000 to $2,000. I'm not exactly sure. And we also did it at Sedgwick Elementary School. So we did 2 elementary schools right now, and we're actually hoping to go to more elementary schools, talk to the principals. And we just gave like a 30 to 45-minute presentation. They did the rest by having a classroom competition. And we hope to go to many schools like John Mayer. I'm not sure, more different many schools like that.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Have you ever thought about your church or where you guys go? How about that? What happens there? Have you tried it yet?
Actually, we did have an event at Emil's church.
Okay.
And there was like an event going on already, and we set up our own booth, and then we gave presentations to people who just came by. It went really well. We got about $200.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, can you do that for me? Can you take me along? Yeah,
Definitely.
see what happens, eh? I need all the help I can get here. So, as I told you earlier, I know a lot of people in Africa, mostly in Africa. That's where I started 2007. I went to Tanzania, then Zanzibar. 2009, I went to Kenya and Tanzania, and Zanzibar again. So what do you see as far as you're starting in Kenya? What do you have rooted over there right now? What do you guys have as far as plans getting over there, let's say?
Getting over there?
And making it happen, absolutely.
So in terms of the actual airfare, in terms of that, we're going to pay for that ourselves. So all the money that we raise as of now, it all goes towards the cause of promoting education all around the world. And then in Africa, we have Patrick O'Sullivan. He has the construction crew there and all the things there, and he can help us with the governmental permits, the land permits, and then the government provides the teachers, but we need to oversee that. And he'll be really helpful there. So he's the one in Kenya right now. And so when we travel to there, that's the person that we're going to meet.
He's going to
up.
be your contact over there.
Yeah, he's our contact.
Do you have any kind of a time frame as when you want to go?
Yes. So our time frame is we want to raise enough money to build a school by our sophomore summer.
Okay.
So that is next summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a year, basically, to raise the funds. Do you know how much we can say it?
Yeah, so the school costs $75,000.
Okay.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah, so right now I think we raise around $5,000 to $6,000 around the ballpark guess. But then the cool thing about this is we're actually like an exponential growth. So what we hope is when the listeners to this channel, we just hope that everybody could make a difference. If you guys could donate, it would really help us out. And the cool thing about this is that Patrick actually told us that $75,000 is just the amount to build a school, but we do have many backup plans because a lot of people ask us, if you don't raise the money, what's your backup plan?
Right.
So pretty much $16,000 will actually go for one classroom. We hope to get a school, but we do have backup plans for one classroom, two classroom that can add on to a school.
Okay, so while we're on that, I want you guys to give out your contact information, speak slowly and precisely so they can understand your website, your email, and I didn't get a phone number from you. We have a phone number we can hand out too?
Yeah, we can.
If you're comfortable with that. It's okay,
that's
you don't
cool.
have to. So go ahead and shoot, and we'll do it twice. We'll give out the information twice. Let's do it.
All right. So our email is Foundation Teach the Future. Foundation Teach the Future at gmail.com.
Okay, so how about your website?
Yeah, so our website is TeachTheFutureFoundation.org, and the foundation is very important. So once again, it's TeachTheFutureFoundation.org. And on our website, you can find all the things about us. There's a contact section and things like that. And there's also a link that leads to our online donation site. So
And the phone number?
We have a phone number. It's 408-309-1304. And again, that's 408-309-1304.
Excellent. And if I don't forget, I'd like you guys to give this out one more time before we end the program today. As you know, I told you about, how do I say this, Tech AM Power Drive? That's right. I didn't say it incorrectly? Okay. I know somebody there. So I think you guys would fit because, Kurt and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. He's the host of the show, one of them. I think he has one Friday every month where you can talk about anything. So I want to get you guys on that show.
Oh, cool. Thank
I
you
guarantee you, he has a huge audience. These guys are real popular.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, I want to get you in the studio, be live over there on the other side.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'll get you in there so he can promote you guys too. I'll find out when his next opening is, but I think it might be within the month or so. So that would help you out a lot.
Cool.
Okay? So hopefully, when you guys are in Kenya, I'll be there too, because my desire, my wish is to go over there and spend about 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
Because I have a lot of friends now. Thank God. If I didn't, I don't know how I'd afford it. What I want to do is take a lot of video, audio, with the people that the organizations are working with, and bring it back here to different venues, and then, hopefully we'll get a lot of support that way. Okay? That's what you guys can do, too. So when you go over there, make sure you take some video. My headset's falling off for some reason. My head's slanted. But you want to make sure that you do that. Okay?
Most definitely.
So what are your ages here? I know you're in high school. You didn't say your ages. If you're not embarrassed, I don't give anybody my age, but you guys are young enough. It's cool. I'll start with you, Karthik. How old are you?
I'm actually 15 years old right now.
You look like you're 20, 21.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, I
Not
guess.
really, not really. And how about you, Emil?
Yeah, I'm also 15 years old.
Okay. You, Kaushik?
And I'm also 15. We're all 15.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we don't have a college kid here.
No.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Very cool. Are you nervous at all?
just a bit.
Why?
I don't know.
Nobody can see you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. There's a camera up there in the corner. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, dang.
You guys put it away. Okay, we're okay right now. Anyway, so I'm very privileged to have these guys here. I found out about you, Emil, through the general manager here at the radio station.
Yeah.
Bad Mickey. He's the one that told me about what you guys do. How do your parents feel about this? Were they all in sync with you guys doing this?
Yeah, they just felt that if you have something that you want to work for, then you should just definitely go ahead at it. In terms of support and things like that, they support us every single day for like small things that we need to drive to, events we need to go. They're always willing to help us out and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they also do give us a sense of freedom in the sense that they want us to be the ones that do this, not them taking charge and things like that. So they do let us become our own foundation in a sense, and so it truly is high school run, and that's something that we feel is different.
Okay, so you haven't had issues with support, so everybody's kind of like rallying behind you and supporting you in what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's really been truly helping us in the sense that they're allowing us, our parents are letting us do what we want to do.
Okay.
And they're really putting, when we have to go to a party and if we have something in Teach the Future that we need to do, they always let us make our arrangements for Teach the Future because they do understand that how important Teach the Future is to us. So they have been really supportive.
It's huge. I mean, anytime you make a difference in the world, it's huge. So our time has kind of like come to an end now, so I always end the show, as the audience knows, with a thought. We've got 3 thoughts here today I want to share with you, so I'll start with you, Karthik. What's yours?
Well, I don't really know if I have a thought, but I do want to say a huge thanks to everybody who has been supporting us, like our donors, especially the ones door to door, because I feel it's pretty cool how they've only met us for 5 minutes, yet they're so inclined to help us and donate to us, and they actually trust us, unlike some other people. And actually, it's actually been pretty cool. Some people were able to give us $100 door to door, and that's a lot of trust, so we're really humbled for that.
That's cool. And that's unusual, too.
Yeah.
Like you said, trust is a big thing. How about you, Emil?
Yeah, so Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And we feel like this is really applicable to us because we feel like even though we're this young, we were able to make a change, or we hope to make a change. And so I guess my thought is, if you could change the world, what would you do and how would you do it?
Excellent thought. How about you, Kaushik?
So exactly, that quote, as Emil said, basically just sums us as a foundation. It really motivates us to really be that change, and we really want everyone that's listening to help us and be this change for the world. And as we said, please just check out our website. On that website, we will have the donation, a link that will take you to our online donation website.
Yeah, and it also has more information about who we are, what we're trying to do. And if we could just once again, the website is TeachTheFutureFoundation.org. And on there, there's everything about us. So please check it out.
All right. Well, you guys out there, you've heard it here on Hearts for Africa. You guys, I love you guys. I love what you're doing. We don't know each other, but we really do because we're all in this together, so we're all trying to make a difference. And I just want to thank you, and God bless you for what you're doing. I'm really on board with that. I'll do everything I can to help you out. I'll link you up with as many people as I can, and trust me, I will do it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thanks for being on the show today. So this is Larry Walling, show host for Hearts for Africa. Unfortunately, 30 minutes isn't long enough, but it's going to have to do for today. So until next week, this is Larry Walling again saying, be well, be safe, and may God bless you.
Thanks for listening to the Hearts for Africa radio show. If you would like to get involved or be a guest on the show, send an email to heartsforafrica@yahoo.com. or call 408-656-1423. That's 408-656-1423. For more information, go online to heartsforafricaradio.com.
I would like to thank Miriam Stockley for graciously allowing us to use her beautiful version of the song Adenius, originally composed by well-known Welsh composer Carl Jenkins. You can also hear it on her recent CD, Eternal.